And not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. On that note, honorable members, welcome to the meeting. The agenda before us reads prayer, introduction of participants, consideration of activity reports, and financial statements of Basse Area Council for the years ended 31st December 2019, and any other business. I want to believe with the introduction, the only person who was not here with us, not honorable, both of you. Yeah, so we'll allow the two honorable members who were not here to introduce themselves. Sane?
Good morning. I am Honorable Kebat Sane, National Assembly member for Punjab, and I am member to this committee.
Not working?
Good morning, Honorable Alhajimbo, member for Upper Salom and the vice chair of the committee.
Thank you very much. Well, it appears they too will be of interest to know who the representative of Basse Area Council are. So I can allow the officials from Basse to introduce themselves.
I'm Lamin Suso, former Director of Finance, Basse Area Council.
Bajibi Sala, Acting CEO, Basse Area Council.
Good morning, Mohamed Osise, Chairperson, Basse Area Council.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Lamin Jassi, the Director of Finance, Basse Area Council.
Now, can somebody move that we adopt the agenda as it is? Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded that the agenda be adopted as it is. Those in favor, please say aye. And not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. On that note, the agenda is adopted. We move to the next item that has to do with the consideration of the activity reports and financial statement of Basse Area Council for the years ended 31st December 2019. You could recall yesterday we had the presentation of the said reports of Basse Area Council, and we've agreed before we proceed with the consideration, we'll have the compliance report to be presented, then we'll do both the consideration of the activity reports and then the compliance report. So before we proceed with the consideration, can we allow GPA to present? I'm sure they're here. GPA? Okay. GPA to present the compliance report. Honorable members, you have the copy? Okay. GPA.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have two reports for Basse Area Council, one for 2019 and the other one is 2020 and 2021. So the report for 2019 was sent to Basse Area Council. Unfortunately, there was no management response to the report. So I don't think it would be prudent to read the report since there was no response to the report.
So 2019, no management response. and therefore no compliance report.
Yes, that's a report,
Yes.
but they did not respond to the queries.
They've not responded to
Yes,
the
they have not responded to the
queries.
yes, queries.
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, if they have not responded, then it's as good as that's the final report that you submit. So
Yes, that's why
so
we
it is
finalize
report.
it.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
If there is no response, then we just take it as is.
And that is within this booklet as well.
Exactly.
Okay, can you guide us? Oh, Basse, do you have anything to say regarding non-submission of the
Yes.
management response?
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members present, subject matter specialists. It will be important if the GPPA can guide us when this was sent for record purpose, because it's a news to us now, as we said yesterday. Majority of us, 90% or 100% are all new into that office for record purpose, please.
Okay, as alluded to the author of the report yesterday when we contacted him, the staff in Section here also is no more with us. But yesterday we contacted him and he said the report was sent to Basse Area Council for management response. However, he could not establish exact date when it was sent, but it was confirmed. Yes, it was sent to Basse Area Council. It was sent to the CEO, and then the procurement officers and other directors were copied in this report.
Well, you could not recall when? Probably not this year,
No, not this year.
and
How it could be in 2021?
2021.
Yeah, not in this year.
Not 2023.
No.
Around 2022.
2021, 2022.
2021,
29th report.
2022. Okay. Yes, Chair.
But we have the other report, which is 2020 and 2021. They will respond to that management query.
2020,
And 2021.
2020, and 2021.
Yes.
They responded to those ones.
Yes, they do.
And still 2019 is pending.
It's still pending. But like Honorable Mbo said, usually when we send the reports, if management fail to respond, we finalize it.
Okay. Yes, Chairman.
Yes, we are just more interested to establish the time or the date of submission of this report for record purpose. Once he finalized, we will listen to the query. Maybe some of those compliance issues may be dealt with the same in 2020 and 2021 respectively. But it's sad enough to sit here again, as I said yesterday. I don't know how best this noble assembly can help us to come with laws to be mandatory in terms of institution or public institution to adhere to laws, because otherwise this history will keep repeating itself. People will hold office and then they leave. They are not accounted for what they have done in the office, because there's the belief that if you took over any leadership, both the credit and the liability is your responsibility as the incumbent leader. At times is not in line with the principle of fairness. I think we rely on this August Assembly to come with a laws enforcement. People need to be dragged to court if need arise. Yes.
The issue we want to establish, that is the time when they were supposed to respond. Now, other matters, when we come to A or B, you have any issue that you can bring that up. So what we can tell them, GPA, can you please try to find out and establish actual time when this was submitted to Basse Area Council? It's important we know, for as the chairman rightly alluded, for record purpose. Okay? Yes. Now, honorable members, we have 2019, 2020, and 2021. Yesterday, the activity and financial statements, it was 2019 that was presented. The other ones are currently under auditing. So I think for now, we can allow GVA to present the 2019, then the 2020 and 2021 that are there, we hold on until when the accounts are done. Okay, is that okay? Yes. So GVA, we can present the 2019 compliance report.
Good morning. The compliance review for the year ended 20.
Can you guide us? Which page? Basse, do you have the copy? You do? Okay. Can you guide us, page?
Okay. Now I was just reading the fourth page, the caption.
The caption, okay.
Compliance review for the year ended 31st December 2019. And going to the non-compliance issues. Page 5, on the (1.8) interviews and discussion. 8, interviews and discussion. During the interview with the staff of the SPU, we observed that interference in procurement processes for the year under review is relatively low. We further observed that there is only one staff member at the SPU, that's the Specialized Procurement Unit, which is heavily affecting the procurement process, considering the amount of procurement transaction conducted daily. In addition, the team further observed that the SPU is under the Finance Department. On the recommendation, page 6, the authority recommends Basse Area Council management that the SPU should be an independent unit. The accounting officer should closely monitor the interference level. 2, the SPU should be directly under the office of the accounting officer, that's the CEO, as enshrined in the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018. 3, we recommend Basse Area Council management to focus on recruitment process of the SPU for segregation of duties and to reduce the workload from the current staff. However, there was no management response. We move to page 11 on the functions of the accounting officer. Here we will say the CEO. Page 10, that's where the 3.1 functions of the accounting officer. But the non-compliance is on page 11, yes, 3.4. However, there are non-compliant practices that were identified during the compliance review. 1. The accounting officer did not ensure that the procuring organization, that's Basse Area Council, prepares a disposal plan. 2. The accounting officer the CEO did not appoint members of the inspection and acceptance committee as required by the Gambia Public Procurement Regulation, section 62, 63, 64, 66, 67, respectively. 3. While the review team was informed of the establishment of the contracts committee, there was no documentary evidence that shown that the accounting officer appoints the contract committee members formally and in writing. 4. There are no contracts committee evaluation report on RFQ procurement transaction. 5. The absence of the disposal committee can delay disposal process, however, whenever the need arises. Under the recommendation on the same page, the authority recommends you to formally write with regards to the appointment of the contracts committee. 2. The accounting officer should ensure that Basse Area Council prepares a disposal plan and follow disposal procedures. We recommend you to identify unused items and materials for disposal. The accounting officer, 3, should appoint members of the inspection and acceptance committee as required by the regulation. 4, the accounting officer should ensure that the minutes of the evaluation report on procurement deliberations are prepared and filed in each procurement transactions as required by the GPPA Act 2018 and its attendant regulation. There was no management response.
Honorable members, I think to save time, since we are doing both presentation and consideration, it will be important, and there is no management response. If the GPA read the findings, we hear from their side what response they can advance before going back and come back to it again. I think we do that way. Sorry, GPA, can we take back to sorry, can we get back to the first one where you have the first non-compliance? If there's any that they want to comment on, they can. That's page 5, yes.
Can I read it again? Oh.
Yeah. The CEO, I think the CEO or the former CEO can guide us. If you have any comment on that. And do you have the copy? Okay. Page 5. Okay.
Good morning. It is true that there were only one procurement officer appointed at the time. But as at date, 2 procurement officers are appointed, and they are responsible for all procurement policies for now.
When did you appoint the second procurement officer?
He was appointed around 2022.
2022.
Yes.
Honorable, any further comment? Okay.
Then page 11.
Can we go to page 11? Yeah, management, can you respond to the issues raised in page 11 under non-compliance?
Yes, it is noted. The procurement officer was under should be under the office of the CEO, under not under the office of the director. That's been noted. And henceforth, I think even before our time, we found that he was already under the office of the CEO. And that was in 2020, I think. From 2020.
You have corrected that?
Yes, that has been corrected.
Has been corrected?
Yes.
That is to say, in the 2020 report,
Yes.
the correction would be effected.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes.
Yeah, we are looking at the organogram for the reporting line. But if you look at the organogram for Basse Area Council, you still realize that the procurement officer is still answerable to the Director of Finance in the organogram.
In the organogram?
Yes. So that has not been corrected on the organogram.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. By looking at the organogram of Basse Area Council, the time we found the organogram, it's been updated. If you have access to our new SDP 2024 to 2028, you will realize that at least some of these queries have been restructured. Yeah, maybe the drawing aspect here, I don't know whether, but this doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, for recorder.
So that should imply that in the 2020 also, the organogram also should be corrected.
Well, I
cannot
ascertain for 2020 or 2020, but I'm talking about the recent SDP we have launched.
Okay.
The organogram design has been reformed. Yeah, currently, if this is not an issue already, because we internally this has been addressed. The procurement officer is directly under the CEO, not the finance. And then currently, even at the council level, it was even housed at the finance department, but we have that discussion last senior briefing that it should even be moved to the administrative block to avoid those confusions and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember any issue? Can we proceed? GPA?
Yes. Under the functions of the SPU, that's the Specialized Procurement Unit, page 12. Page 12.
Okay.
Non-compliant. There was no evidence that the SPU had conducted periodic market surveys to inform the placing of orders or adjudication by the contracts committee. And based on our review, based on procurement files they presented before us, 50% of the council's expenditure amounting to 5,554,300 is centered on fuel. In the same vein, below are some procurement transactions awarded to fuel supplier without them being registered with GPPA for the year ended 2019, which is a gross violation of Section 24 of the GPPA Procurement Amendment Act 2018. And the list, it's on page 13. You have the supplier, description, amount, and date. One from Jar Oil, two Jar Oil, and then the amount is all highlighted there. Under the recommendation, the authority recommend that the Council to enter a framework agreement with the following fuel suppliers, such as Techwall, Jalo Oil. The authority strongly recommend that all procurement functions, including fuel, catering, rental, and any other procurement-related activity, to be handled and conducted by the Specialized Procurement Unit with immediate effect as provided for in the GPPA Amendment Act 2018. 3. The SPU should ensure a periodic market survey is carried out and inform the contracts committee accordingly. 5. The procuring organization should address all the weaknesses identified on the functions of the SPU. The Basse Area Council should ensure that all the fuels vendors that the council is dealing should register with GPPA as enshrined in the Public Procurement Act.
No management response.
No management.
Any comment from management?
It is well noted. Since we took over to the office, we have never procured any goods or services without the GPPA regulations certificate, and the procurement officer is helping some of the vendors even to register with the GPPA, and I think we don't buy fuel from any vendors who is not a GPPA registered, who doesn't have GPPA regulations.
The recommendations that are advanced, have you taken note of those recommendations?
Very well.
That is the first one, entering into framework agreement with the suppliers.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the time you took over the office, if you are following our social media handle, you'll be seeing that Basse Area Council have called for vendor registration, and all the requirement by the law was attached for interested vendors to come and then register with us. Through the contract committee and the procurement unit, they will look at it, the competence ones, their council will have business with them. So these were some of the best practices we try to implement in 2023. Some of these things happened maybe in 2019, and then we have go far now as far as this implement. That's why for this report, at times we feel that it's even difficult for us to respond, because some of these things we are going slowly, but gradually we will trying to wrap up or tackle all these issues. But some of these things are think of past now, as far as the council is concerned. And then the procurement unit also is not only limited for only fuel. Whatever procurement we are doing now is the responsibility of the procurement unit, and they have the support from the management, any senior person. Do as is dictated by the law, regardless of whoever you are dealing with. So that's the slogan there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and my apologies for coming late. It's just an observation. Because I wasn't here during the introduction, but he mentioned that they even help vendors to register, and I think that is a cause for concern, because GPPA already has a list of registered vendors. So why would they be interested in a particular vendor for them to go to the point of having to support them to register? I think that is a cause for concern, and I think we need to look into that.
Yeah, the CEO highlighted in his statement that the procurement officer encouraged vendors to register. In my region, URR, not all vendors are registered with GPPA, and at times they are not even aware with that regulation. Where that being the case, as an public institutions, we know that we cannot rely on only the existing ones having the GPPA certificate. We need to encourage our local entrepreneurs to register so that it will not be a conflict of interest. The business will be open for all the qualified Gambians and non-Gambians to have a business with the council. Mainly, that was the only thing he's talking about. It's just a matter of encouragement. We cannot do business with you without this qualification. And not only by him talking, but this impact is in our social media handle. Encourage even the young entrepreneurs to go and then register with GPPA.
Currently, has council entered the framework contract agreement with any fuel supplier?
Yes, we have, we have contract with GMPC under the framework agreement. We are on the final stage of signing the contracts because we even, we had a contract with GMPC for, and 25% of our land that we given is in return for a supply, fuel supply.
Okay.
Yes. We are on the final stage of signing those contracts with GMPC.
The other recommendation is pertaining to periodic market survey to be carried by the contract committee. Do you do that?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. To be done by the contract committee, that's a news to me, but we always encourage the procurement unit to go because this is an FPAC. There is no need to say something which doesn't exist. But we equally encourage the procurement department to go and do market survey. But you will agree with me, they also have a seat in the contract committee. During that, they share this report with contract committee members, because contract committee members not only form of our staffs, but both the councillors and the other experts outside of the council. So by looking at their busy schedules and so on, but the procurement unit frequently do the market survey and then report to the contract committee, but not specific contract committee going out doing the market survey.
No, it is the unit that should do and then inform the contract committee, not the contract committee that should do.
That one is already in place, yeah.
Okay. Honorable members, any issue? Can we proceed? GPA?
Yes.
Non-compliance?
Page 14, 3.441, procurement planning. Non-compliant. 3.42, the team observed that procurement plan was not prepared and submitted to GPPA as stipulated in Section 29 of the Gambia Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018. Under the recommendation, it is a prerequisite to comply with this important provision, Section 29 of the Public Procurement Act 2018, by sending their annual procurement plan to the authority on or before 15 January every year.
Management?
We've not submitted the procurement plan as required, but the procurement plan has been prepared for 2024. But we will submit it because it's already been prepared for 2024 procurement plans.
2024?
Yes.
So that means 2021, 22, and 23, we are not following procurement plan?
No, we've been to the council in July 2023. And we've not been au fait if whether a procurement plan was was prepared or not. But for procurement plan for 2024, it's already it's already been prepared, and we can submit to the GPA as required.
And the other thing,
Chairman.
Chairman, the other thing, one of the best practices we adopted in 2023, each unit, we're going to submit your weekly activity plan or operational plan, which compliance is, our procurement is part of it. Yeah, because you need to plan for that week and report at the other week so that we evaluate and check whether you have achieved all your planning intended activity. And procurement every week, they will submit their procurement plan and then which one is being procured and which one they intended to do. But this year, as far as CEO is saying, in 2024, we want to upgrade from that weekly activity plan. But as a council, we are encouraging them that each department shall submit their annual operational plan, which we will look at it at the senior management level and then align it to our annual activity plan and equally our SDP, because we have a timeline which we need to implement that SDP.
Honorable?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I know we are talking about the regulation for 2018, but now the regulation is 2019, as well as the GPP Act of 2022 has changed. Are you guys familiar with those documents? The GPP Act of 2022 and the regulation of 2019. Are you familiar with them?
No, we are not.
Yes. The reason why I ask, that's exactly where you will have a gap, because if you don't understand what the regulation actually says, so even though you may have best practices, it may not be really very helpful. And I would urge probably this, the chairman to just get in touch with them to see if they can organize some kind of like in-house training, so that at least you know what is expected as far as GPA Act and the regulation is concerned. Because it's very important that you familiarize yourself with them. The laws actually have changed in 2022, and now they're using the regulation of 2019. So I think it's important that maybe you try to organize something with them to ensure that at least you are online, you are in line with whatever the regulation says. Thank you.
Okay, that's noted. In 2023, they proposed a training, but unfortunately, that time our council is, the backbone is no longer exists. But I know for 2024, once we return back, we are going to fast track that because we have a budget line for capacity building. We will look into that. Thank you.
Any other? Can we proceed? GVA?
Okay. Functions of the contracts committee. Some of the findings has already been highlighted in the previous page 5. So I will go straight to functions of evaluation committee, which is page 17. Sorry, not page 17. Functions of the disposal committee, page 16 rather. 3.23, non-compliance. Basse Area Council has not established the disposal committee as required by the GPPA Amendment Act 2018, Section 60, 61, 62, 63, and the Regulation 2019, Section 125. Recommendation, page 17. The procuring organization should establish a disposal committee and follow the disposal procedure as required by the Act.
Management?
Honorable Chair, this committee is not available, but once we go back, we are going to establish the committee because we have currently established the inspection and the, receiving committee, but for disposal, it's not available. But once we go back, we are going to establish the committee. Yes.
Page 18.
Any comment, honorable members? Okay. Yes, next. Evaluation committee, you want?
Yes, my colleague is just whispering in my ear that they just answered that question.
They've answered that one?
Yes.
Okay. So let's proceed.
Okay, page 19.
Page
19.
19.
Yes. On the threshold matrix, page
On the-
18.
Yes,
mat-
18.
The matrix, threshold matrix, choice of procurement method, and segregation of responsibilities. It's for the observation they've had. On the page 19, it's highlighted here, registered and deserving suppliers, as stipulated in section 24 of the GPPA Amendment Act,
Where are you reading from?
page 19.
Page 19.
Yes.
Okay.
As stipulated in section 24 of the GPPA Act 20, it should be 2018, suppliers should register with the authority as prerequisite for eligibility for public contracts. Under observation, having gone through the records presented for auditing, it was discovered that some contracts were awarded to suppliers who did not register with the authority at the time of award. See below, see on the next page for the transaction awarded to the suppliers who did not renew their GPPA registration status. And the list is presented for that particular year. It reads date, payee, description, and amount. On the recommendation, we recommend that public contracts are awarded to suppliers who are duly registered with the GPPA to comply with section 24 of the Public Procurement Act. You are also reminded to revert to the GPPA website. That means to visit the GPPA website, www.gppa.gm, for further verification of GPPA registered suppliers.
Management?
Yes, as we earlier said that there is no transactions now in terms of procurement that we do without GPPA regulations. And I'm sure all these things are rectified in 2023 and 2024 respectively.
GPA?
Pre-qualification and registration of suppliers, 21, but the non-compliant is on 22. The procuring organization, under findings, 3.46, non-compliance. The procuring organization does not carry out a pre-qualification procedure to determine an approved list of registered suppliers as required by Section 23 instead. The PO relies on the eligibility list of the Gambia Public Procurement Authority to invite quotation or single source procurement.
Management?
I think this is We noted this one because the procurement the procurement officer does not carry out the pre-qualification procedures. But I think for now it's noted, and we will definitely comply with it.
You will? I don't get that well.
I said we will comply
In your
in our 2024.
Are you done with 2023?
No, it's not yet been audited for 2023. I think the audit.
But you already
Yes.
submitted?
No, we have not yet submitted.
Or if not submitted?
No.
We still have 1 month on this.
Hmm?
So we still have some 1 month on this.
Yes, I. Hmm.
Hopefully we'll
By March.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to comment on these non-compliance or pre-qualification procedures. But can you bring me to your level? Let me understand. What do you mean?
Okay, thank you. Actually, what do we mean by pre-qualification? When we did audit for Basse Area Council, the understanding was the procurement officer was relying on the list from DPPA, but not in conjunction to determine whether the suppliers have capability and capacity to deliver those contracts or not. One, for example, if you invite suppliers based on the registration, that alone may not qualify or determine whether those suppliers have capacity, financial muscles, those things to deliver those contracts or not. That's what I mean by pre-qualification. When you pre-qualify, you say, okay, you must have a financial turnover of this amount. For instance, okay, at least you must have a personnel. Let's say if it's a contract, you must have a personnel of A, B, C, and D.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is actually what we mean by pre-qualification, like similar contracts. Okay, let's say if you invite Honorable Mbo, for instance, to participate in a public tender, then he should bring assurance that he has delivered similar contract before somewhere. That evidence has to be there. But in most cases, this evidence were not found in the files. So the
Yes.
okay, so basically that's what we mean. Chairman.
Okay. Honorable Chair, if that's the definition, what do you mean by the pre-qualification procedures? Those are already in place. Because recently our borehole contracts, the contract committee will go even in depth to know that how many boreholes you have drilled or dug. So, and then go further, even those communities, to find out whether they are facing challenges and so on. If it is about the capability and then the financial muscle, yeah, those are in place. So that's why I said, bring me to your level. So before I respond, thank you.
And in additional to that, we also ask for certificate of completion of.
Just 1 second. I think clarity from GPPA. Now, when vendors come to register with GPPA, do you guys at any point check their capacity and their capability to ensure that they're able to deliver? Because if you just come, you just fill the form, you register, you pay, then you go, then the procurement organization actually have to go another step to find out whether they have that. But for me, I think if you don't, I think the first step should start from you. People cannot just come and register because I'm a mechanic, I just register, and you find out whether they even have the capacity to be able to do that. And I think, I don't know if you do that, but if you don't, I think the first step should start from GPPA before they actually come to confirm whether that, because again, if you register, you publicize on a website, the list, supply stationery or they can supply cars, and then when in actual fact, they don't have the capacity and they don't have the capability, then it's going to create some kind of anomaly, even though they are required to do the second step. But I think it would have been even proper for GPPA to ensure that whoever is registering for a particular product or service, then you should be able to get the capacity or the capability to do that. So I don't know if you guys do that.
Thank you, Honorable. If I may answer your question, the answer will be no. However, the GP registration has a basis. The first basis of GP registration is the AG chambers, business registration from Attorney General chambers. The second prerequisite is the GRA. So the reason why we did not go into details to know whether the particular supplier has capacity or capability, at that stage we are not awarding them contract. GPA is not awarding them contract. Now is the responsibility of the procurement organization to determine who am I dealing? Is or he has a capacity and responsibility or financial muscle to deliver the contract that you are awarding. That is why if you look at the GP registration, suppliers are registered under categories. Let's say if the supplier registered for supply of stationaries, if you dare to give that supply borehole drilling, then you are at risk. You are at the risk of that contract not being delivered. This is why, if you look at the public procurement carefully, all the risks are transferred to the suppliers or to the bidders. Because if you carefully calculated or prepare your tender document very well, then there's a small chance of procurement organizations their contract not being delivered. The reason why most of the contracts are not delivered because they did not take right procedures. If right procedures were followed, obviously the contract will be delivered as expected. Thank you.
Yes, Chair. Well, the reason why I'm asking is, I think it's quite important now that for GPPA to look deeper into some of the registrations. Because for me personally, I cannot understand if somebody going to register for building, construction, engineering, and then the same vendor can also supply medical equipment. The same vendor can also supply technology equipment. For me, I think that's where we have it wrong. I think there's a need for GPPA to deliberately look at those things, because I don't expect somebody who can supply meat also to supply stationery. I really don't expect that. So I think this is really where GPPA needs to take another step to ensure that at least we try to clean up those things, so that we bring sanity in the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. You are right. Actually, we did start about the categorization. That's what we call categorization. If you register for stationaries, you are supposed to supply stationery. If you are in the construction, you limit to construction. Yeah, but is the responsibility still go back to them? Because the moment you request GPPA certificate, what's written on their certificate, that needs to be verified. If somebody is supplying stationaries and then somebody is coming for construction, you should disqualify them. You are at liberty to do that. Thank you.
I think most of the applicants, they normally come with their certificate of incorporation, business certificate. So I think through that business registration, GPAPA should be able to determine the type of business registered. So because right now, because what he's saying, I could see some individual, they will register under a particular category, but they will move to another category to offer services on that area. And I think there is a need for us to specifically categorize all these sectors so that at least we can have a level playing ground. Yeah.
That's well noted, Honorable. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Mboy, for bringing this. I think we are even a living example. Our borehole drilling contracts. Someone applied for borehole drilling, and then in his certificate from GPPA, he need to supply materials. So we asked him to go back. The contract committee direct him, you need to go back and then provide construction of borehole drilling certificate. Otherwise, within 48 hours, he'll be disqualified. Me expecting sitting in my office that he can never get that certificate. Within 24 hours, he get a certificate from GPP and submit it. I think this also really is a challenge to us as a procurement organization. It is vice versa, because we all need to make sure that there is a sanity within the system. At times, people are failed to pay tax or to register, but in an expensive, and there is something coming, let me just rush and get the certificate for that. I think what Honorable raised there is a very important point, because if you not cross-check all those things, tomorrow we may issue him a contract, and you come back again, you said non-compliance because the certificate does not match. You are an expert that field. I think your assistance is really needed.
Thank you very much, Honorable. He asked a question. He said we enlighten him. Let's just enlighten him on what is pre-qualification. It's just merely to know your supplier, getting to know the supplier very well. Okay, we proceed to page 22 under specification. 3.49 specification, non-compliant. 49. Non-compliant, 3.53, non-compliant. The council did not develop specification for the procurement of motorcycle for a revenue collector dated 4th April 20th, 2019, amounting to 170,000, which is not in accordance with the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018, Section 25, subsection 1, 2, 3, 4. Recommendation: we recommend the Council to ensure that specifications are generated in each transaction to ensure competition in the procurement process as required in GPPA Amendment Act 2018, Section 25, subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4.
For specification, since we come into office, we have not procured a motorcycle or whatever. But we know that before we buy any like motorcycle, there must be we must have to have the specifications in accordance.
Okay.
Yes, what I was just saying. Since we took over, we said we've not bought any fixed assets yet, as for motorcycle, but it's well noted. But it's well noted. Any procurement we are going to do has to be specified. Yeah. Exactly.
Now we're moving to specific findings. Yes, on the page 24, chapter 4. Four point two, procurement of vehicle engine, category goods, amount 80,000, awarded to Basse Enterprise. The method used was request for quotation. The tender number, Basse Area Council /admin /RFQ 07/2019. Non-compliance. There was no evaluation report of the contracts committee as stipulated in regulation 28 of the regulation section 12 subsection 7b and 2 of the GPPA Act. There was no delivery receipt as stipulated in section 35. The procured item was not part of the annual procurement plan as stipulated in regulation 25 subsection 1 of the regulation. There was no management response.
I think these are all things of the past. We've been any material procured has to have delivered, has to have a delivery note, and also evaluated before it is delivered. That one is it. All these reports are things of the past.
Thank you. I think it's very reassuring to hear the CEO say that these are things of the past. Thank you. I think it's very reassuring to hear him say that these are things of the past. So we do not expect to see them, because we are talking about 2019, 2018, 2019. And like we always say, that I think we should rush these things so that we can be dealing with things that are more current, that we can hold them accountable for. Because with this, we can't even hold them accountable for something that was done when they were not even there. But we are just trying to make sure that things are being done properly.
Page 29, procurement of fuel, category goods, amount 95,000, awarded to JA Oil. Procurement method single source. Quotation number Basse Area Council /SS 04/29. Findings: non-compliance. The procurement method is above. The procurement was above the threshold of single source, which violates section 38 and 45 of the GPPA Act. The procurement item was not part of the procurement plan as stipulated in regulation 25. There was no delivery receipt or delivery note as stipulated in section 35 of the GPPA Act.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, these are more of similarities, like the Honorable alluded. The assault in June 2023 upward, some of these things will not repeat itself because we always put emphasis. Whatever need to be done should be done according to the law. Yeah. And then some of these things, threshold, we keep asking even the procurement officer in our senior, what did the threshold for that and so on. Where you need, I don't know, they said RFQ, yeah, request for quotations, and then going in for single sourcing, I don't know, open tender, all those terminologies are always explained. If need arise, the contract committee to sit, they are always available for them to sit and then discuss our issues. Yeah. Like she said, some of these things, it was, yeah, I'm saying that it's more of similarity. I'm not saying it's responding to them. Like, but I'm responding to, maybe later you can maybe join her. No, I'm just referencing it to the previous answer, not this one. Yeah, I'm saying that it's more of similarity, like out above threshold.
Sorry, currently, what is the situation?
No, this doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist?
Yeah.
That's what we have done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we proceed?
Thank you, Honorable. General recommendation.
General.
Last page, the recommendation for the entire report. Last page, 32.
Okay.
Recommendation. It was also recommended the council to enter into framework agreement with the following suppliers. 1. Tech Wall, Jalo Oil for catering services. Specialized procurement unit should be under the direct supervision of the accounting officer, that is the chief executive officer, the CEO. They are also required or recommended that you are recommended to request for 2 days training from the authority to train your contracts committee members and specialized procurement unit to familiarize yourself with the basic principles of public procurement, GPPA reporting procedure. Submitting the annual procurement plan is also a requirement enshrined in the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018, Section 29. Awarding of contracts to suppliers / contractors without GPPA regulation is a violation of Section 24 of GPPA Amendment Act 2018. However, the authority recommends you to develop specification when procuring equipment, example, computers, vehicles, printers, motorcycle, etc. In conclusion, using the above compliant rate variables for the period under review, Basse Area Council was found to be 60%, which denotes partially compliant with the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018 under Regulation 2019. The compliant trend for 2014, they scored 27%. 2015, they scored 45%. 2016, 45%. 2017, 45%. 2018, 60%. 2019, 60%. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Management, what's your take on the general recommendations?
Uh, Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have taken note of all the recommendations mentioned, and we clearly stated earlier on that we are going into a framework agreement with with GMPC, not with TechnoWorld, and we have also have contracts with the catering services, and also earlier stated that the procurement officer is under the office of the CEO and not under the finance director anymore. And as we said, we will organize trainings. We will write to the GPA immediately to train our contract committee on procurement policies, as earlier stated. And the submission of the annual procurement plan will do before the deadline, as promised. And contractors and suppliers. And we have not done any contract, or we've not issued any contract or bought from any supplier if they don't have procurement regulations. That's all we have.
Yes, if you look at most of these findings is for 2019, and then there was no response to most of them. And then you are telling us that it's going to be a thing of the past. I don't know what assurance are you going to give us when there was no response for them, and then you are telling us you should not expect to see them in 2021, 2022. So I don't know.
Thank you so much. You know, that's why at the starting we want to establish when the document was said. And I mean, it's happened within our mandate. We'll make sure that there will be a response. Even to say that we are not aware, but there will be a response. But unfortunately, we could not establish the actual submission date. But we assured this is already a thing of past. By looking at our procurement, the documents are available. The council is a public institution. From June 2023 to date, some of things as council have gradually upgrade from that, because we also access the internal audit report, which was a privilege for us and my council just coming into the office. The ministry internal systematic internal audit report was released. Through that, a lot of findings and the gaps. As we come, we look at the ranks and able to solve it gradually. But you know, you cannot overcome the entire challenge the institution is facing for one. I know when we go in for 2023, 2024, there will be a big margin in terms of improvement. Be assured of that.
Okay, thank you. You know, in your opening statement, you mentioned something like that the care asks you to wait when you come to AOB. Because like now you are the one who's going to suffer. People holding public offices and then later they'll leave and they are not found to be accountable. So you know the challenges that you're going to go through.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We did confirm from our office when the report was sent to Basse Area Council, and the date that was sent to us is on the 31st December 2021. It was sent to Basse on the 31st December 2021. It was sent to the then CEO and the procurement officer. Yes, the then CEO and the procurement officer.
this has brought us to the end of the presentation and consideration for the compliance report of Basse Area Council. Basse, the compliance rate is, though slowly, a bit improving. 2014 was 27%, 15, 45, 16, 45, 17, 50, 18, 60, and 19, 60. Hopefully, 2021, 23, or 2021, 22 will be around 90. Chairman. Hopefully. Huh? Good. And by 2024, with all the issues that will be regarded as things of the past, will now be registering 100% compliance. Huh? 80, 85. That will be very low. Okay. So thank you so much. And we take note of the issues and the coming reports. The prior year matters would indicate whether actually they were addressed or otherwise. So on that note, we proceed with the consideration of the financial statements. The subject matters, honorable members, can you take note of the issues that are highlighted in the financial statements? Then from there, we get to the management letters. Honorable Sane, can you take,
Okay, thank you. That's I don't need to read the audit opinion on page 7. So I'm just going straight to the analysis made. That is when you look at the revenue and then expenditure statement for 2019. It is difficult to compare the figures because there was no report for 2018 to compare. Are you with me? On the revenue analysis, you know, based on the report that page 9, yes. If you look at the statement that was reported, there is no comparison to compare the figures with 2018. So, you know, it's going to be difficult.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Sane. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Mr. Sane. Still not correct. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Mr. Sane, for that question. Yes, it is true that there was no balancing figures for 2018 and 2019. But if you can recall, there was a time it was agreed at this assembly that all council should have we should prepare the 2019 financial statement as the baseline. That was agreed at this August body. So basically, that's why the financial statement was prepared for 2019, 31st December 2019. But I can also refer you to page 3 of the report, where you see the bank and bank account balances, where you see the 2018 and the 2019. So basically, we took the bank balances as our opening balances for 2019 to prepare the financial statement.
You know what we are trying to say here, like if you look at the trade lancings, the amount collected,
yes,
like for 2019, now they are rating you like 39.4%. Yes. But now how we arrived to 39.4%, hadn't been there are figures also to compare so that we know whether it was an improvement or no improvement. But now the report here is like only showing us 2019.
Yes.
So what happened in 2018 would be like, don't know.
Yeah, actually, those informations are not provided here.
Exactly.
Yes, but these were the actual figures collected for the period under review.
So this is why it's going to be difficult now for us to make any comment like what progress has been made.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity. The question is very vital because comparative figures is part of the standards to prepare any financial statement. There must be a comparative figures to look at the trend and then the differences. But what happened was prior to 2019, councils were struggling to even present a financial statement. Now we are talking about the credibility of the financial statement, the figures, but before they were not even preparing it. Yeah, but what happened was we still go and look at their financial transactions and the internal controls and report to the National Assembly. So it was there that the previous committee gave them a baseline because we are struggling and you cannot even find the figure. The supporting documents were not there, the source documents were not there, no cash book, no ledger. So they say we cannot continue like this. The only thing we can do is to give them a baseline 2019. So what the auditors did, what we did was we look at some of those financial records, the cash books that are available and the bank statement that were available, to confirm them and then use that one as the opening balance for them to build on their 2019, just to have a starting point. This is what happened.
Previous committee to have a starting point. Okay. Next issue.
There is a difference of like 8 million in total revenue reported in the revenue and expenditure statement.
Is that million?
$8. Okay, $8.
Okay.
Okay. $8 a week is different from the reported in the 21,634,783.9 butut on page 9. So the difference, there's a difference of $8. Page 9.
Though insignificant, but
Yeah.
it's still a difference.
It's a figure. I don't know.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes. That's right. Yeah, that's a calculation.
Your calculator was what?
Okay.
Okay. From the above table also, you have 39.4% of the revenue incoming from trade license, whilst almost 40% from rent and rates of vehicle park fees of $4,184,519.95 is been collected by the council. This is on page 12, note 4 to 95, on page 12. Page 12. Your activity report.
No, financial.
Financial report, sorry.
There are about 3 parts in this.
So the question here is why the car park fees is not collected by GRA in line with what is being done in other councils.
Who should respond to that question?
Yeah.
Finance Director?
Yes, the car park fees are collected by DRA, not the council. Yes.
Yeah. Something collected by like GRA. I think that's what you are saying.
Yeah.
So how comes is you are reporting it?
Yeah.
There?
These monies are collected by the DRA on behalf of the councils. So normally these monies are remitted to councils and then it is captured in our budget and also it has to be captured in our revenue.
So they supply you with the information?
Yes, yes. They normally send it through finance, then we receive it in our accounts. Yes, on behalf of council. Yes, remittance, yeah.
Okay, again on page 12, note 4 to 95, the weekly collections received from Lumos, $396,407 is less than 24% of the daily market fees, totaling to $1,674,640. So we need explanation on this.
Yes, this depends on the condition or the magnitude of the market. The market, we are collecting more revenue in the market than the Lumos. The market is more busy than the total Lumos that we have within the region. So basically, the collection must differ. We have one central market in Basse.
So it's only Basse central market that you do collection?
Yeah, and it is daily. It is daily collection. And
Sorry,
Lumos, yes.
sorry. I say, how many markets do you have in the whole region that
One.
you do collect?
One.
One.
Yes.
That's Basse central market.
Yes.
Apart from Basse, there is no other market?
No.
Those big towns in Basse, no market?
But we have Lumos around.
Huh?
We have very big Lumos around.
All those are
Weekly.
operating lumos?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's hope that with time there'll be other markets available.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, welcome.
Yes, Director. Okay, I just want to understand. If you said there is only one market in Basse region where you collect daily, I just want to know whether you have community market within villages. if you have, are you collecting in those markets?
No, we don't have. We only have Lumos around and then the central market in Basse.
So community markets within villages, you don't collect from them?
No, during my time, we are not collecting any revenue from those community markets. We only concentrate on central market and the Lumos, respectively. And I cannot recall, and I'm not aware if there's any community market in Basse.
No, when I said community market, these are villages within the region that have their own market in their own village.
Okay, I think the chairman want to comment.
Okay, can I interject here? Of course, there is a community market, but councils are not collecting it. Yeah, this is the mantra we found in the office, but the new director may say something about it. It's not even, the factor to impact is built by the council, but almost for number of years, the revenue is not collected. And then last time I checked, even the cleaner was at that market is still paid by the council. So that's the situation.
Thank you for that question. In regards to market in the communities, there are existing markets in the communities, but most of our collectors, where they are stationed, and then for them to go and collect 1 or 2 tables like $30 and spend over $300 for transport, I don't think is feasible at this moment. So we are even reconsidering of applying this other policy, maybe by taking local collectors, maybe people based in the community to be doing that collection for councils. At the end of the day, we do it on percentage base. That's what we are considering, but it's not yet implemented for now.
Honorable Cham.
Well, thank you very much. Apologies for just coming in, but I was into another committee session. But then, based on your explanation that you're considering having a home-based collectors, and home-based collectors, despite the fact that they will also be paying to the council, how are they going? Because you're also considering the cost attached to the transportation to where the market is. But then equally, the home-based collector also needs to go to the council to do payment of what he or she has already collected. So how are you going to do that? Will that be on weekly or monthly or how? And how is the safety with regards to the money in hand? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable, for that question. These are some of the terms, some of the things we are looking into. That's why we did not implement that idea yet, because it needs a lot of consideration. If you have a community of less than 2 tables in the market, that is like $20 per week. It's not sensible for that community collector to be mobiling from that particular village to Basse to do his deposits also. So these are some of the things we are looking at, and then to see what are the best ways forward in regards to that. Yeah, but we are not letting any revenue go freely for this. So.
How many lumos do you people have?
We have 6 lumos.
And they are weekly?
Yes. 6. We are collecting at 6 lumos anyway. Yes, there's 7. Yeah. Except on Fridays. There's this particular day where 2 lumos collide.
Okay.
Leakages that you can work on.
That's why I want
community,
to come in.
Community markets. It's not only Basse. Most of the councils, they are not collecting revenues in those community markets. I think Brikama for now, they are doing a lot to make sure all the markets, they do collections from them. The strategies that they apply, you can learn from them. Yes, you should, especially where you appoint staff in those markets. and you are not collecting anything, that's a great loss to the council. Okay?
Yeah, that's why I want to come in. Currently, in fact, consultation have started with the community leaders, alcalos. The finance committee is going around to with the local authorities and see then how best they can also partner with the council to help them to collect all the revenues. So that consultation is ongoing. So we are expecting that once that consultation is completed, they submit report, we are going to act on it, because this has to do with a teamwork. We don't just want to come with an idea and think that is feasible to implement, and then while the local, our own people are not involved. We want it to be like holistic approach. Everyone see himself a part and parcel of it. Then from there, the council can implement. For now, these are the leakages are currently happening. But once we receive that consultative report, then we can table it out and then come out with a decision. But it's really disturbing us. Like I just said, even for Toto, we are still paying the cleaner without collecting a revenue. Not only market table, but in fact, we have existing canteens there, which they don't pay rent for almost, coming to the office, almost, they will tell you 8 years ago, 7 years ago, no collector come and collect those rents. So this is the current, but we are trying to address it gradually.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I think this indeed is a serious matter, having stalls on the market when they were not collecting revenue upon them. And how are you going to do that, Chairman? Are you accumulating the amount for them to pay annually or monthly? What strategy did you put in place so that those revenues can be collected? Because these are public funds. And I also asked a question earlier, which he responded, and maybe some part was not clearly responded to me. That is, these are public funds, and then, getting a collector at the home base to do the collection is also very important in order to remedy the situation of not collecting the money from them, the revenue. But then, how are you going to do that? Will it also be annually or monthly basis or quarterly? And how is the money saved in hand? Because like when you want to collect it, for example, 3 months for the person who collected the money to bring it to the council, will it be monthly? And how secure is that money in his or her hand? That is my problem. Because these are public funds and we can't just leave them astray. Thank you.
Now, they've not started the collection. According to him, now they are learning that there are a lot of areas where they have this leakage of resources. So they will be engaging the local communities. And based on those engagement, the modalities of the collection will be discussed and then agreed to. So they have not done that now. So when they engage, so what is agreed is what they will be implementing. Yeah, but if you want him to answer that now, when they have not planned, they will be going for the planning meeting. Yes, so that will be difficult. Yes, hello?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. We all know as council, our primary responsibility is to ensure that we collect all revenues and plug back to the people. But it's also important to look at the other aspect, that's value for money. For example, if you put in $10 and you are getting $8, I don't think that is something that should be considered. But I'm happy that the chairman is informing us that there are new markets. But to my knowledge, when I was there in 2021 to 2023, July, that's never come to my notice. And also some of the areas that are pending in some of the markets like Patoto. When I was leaving, some collections were done in that market. Maybe still there were some areas. But I know for councils, at my time, during my time, we are trying our utmost best to ensure that all revenues that belongs to the councils are collected to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Another observation, because he said that, okay, there must always be cost benefit analysis. When you do something, you cannot be renting a market for $8, for example, and expect to utilize $30 just to achieve that. So I think they should revisit, and hopefully it has been done, because this report again is since 2018. So hopefully we are in 2024. That is like nearly 6 years. So I hope that has been rectified. That, or are they still telling us that they are still collecting up to date, or are we talking about 2018, 2019? Is it in 2024 that you are still not collecting this rent?
Thank you, Honorable, for that question. I think the council has already put structures in place when it comes to rent collection. In the year 2024, we even established a unit especially for rent collections. That is the rent unit under the finance department, who are responsible for collecting all these rents. Like we said previously, for example, like Patoto, there are a lot of areas there in regards to rent.
So in effect, they are saying that they are not collecting. Do you think that our own personal homes, if we rent our rooms, we will stay for 6 years and not collect rent and still be comfortable with it?
Sorry, Chairman, let me come there. I'm not saying that we are not collecting. What I'm saying here is, for the year 2024, we have even started collecting in that particular market, that is Patoto. That in regards to the rent. That's why we established a special rent unit who will be responsible for all the rental activities in relation to council's income. So I'm not sure there's any loophole in regards to that.
Yeah. This year.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Regarding to the markets, as per the Local Government Act, functions given to the councils, it is the responsibility of councils to establish and maintain markets. And the justifications advanced, I can agree with them. But otherwise, there are also jetties and landing sites in Basse. Are you also collecting taxes on those?
Thank you, Honorable. In regard to the landing site, yes. But those vehicles that normally comes in the morning, whilst our collectors are in active service, are collecting. But the ones that are coming in the evening, we are also considering having a collection team who will be responsible for collecting at that particular time. But we are yet to implement that. As we said previously, we are on a restructuring program, and then I think with time, we're able to implement all these activities.
Are those also disclosed as council's revenues? Those collections made?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. On page 12, the revenue line, interest under dividend. Is the council having any equity investment to be getting payment of the dividend?
Thank you, Mr. Sani. Actually, the council is not engaged in any business, but the staff loan repayment and the 1/6 was captured under interest and dividends simply because we don't have the revenue head in our revenue lines. So we decided to capture these particular lines into this particular expenditure revenue line.
Like if you look at, just as I said at the beginning, because there is no figures to compare with the reported one. So this makes it difficult to make a judgment or how reliable what you reported is, because we cannot compare to say this what you collected at this year and then this year, this is the difference, so that we will be able to know which direction you are going. But now if you look at again, I don't know the reason of why salaries and allowances are not reported separately. You put them together.
Yeah, actually they are put together in the notes. But if you go into the ledgers or other informations, you will see that they are separated. In the ledgers, the salaries are captured on a different head, likewise the salaries on the manpower. But on the notes, they are added together.
Don't you think it's better to report them separately than, or you think that is the best reporting method you can use?
Yeah, these are the standards.
These are the standards.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe.
Any others?
I just want to make a clarification on the interest and dividend. As you rightly said, they are supposed to be anything like dividend, because dividend is just the return on the shareholders, whatever. Well, it's just the name. If you look at our management letter yesterday, there is a portion where we mentioned that councils are giving names or new account codes. They are just giving them that are not inconsistent. And then this comes as a management letter point yesterday. So if you look at this interest and dividend, these are the staff loan. The interest that they are getting from the repayment of the loans issued, and the 1/6 are the ones that they are classifying as interest and on dividend. It's just the name that they are giving that is not consistent, and we've reported this in the management letter. Just the name.
We look at again on transport for each department. Council, we need clarification because you're spending a lot on transportation on all departments. And then allowances are paid to staff or fuel and maintenances for the vehicles of the council.
Yes, the way the budget was prepared, each unit is having its own transport line. So basically, if we are also reporting, that's how it's supposed to be reported on the notes. So each of the unit is having its own transport expenses, likewise salaries and allowances.
Did you notice that the total expenditure of 22,085,551.12 butut exceed the total receipt of 21,634,791.9, resulting in a deficit of $450,760.
Yes. If you look at the income and expenditure statement, the revenue is capturing has at 1st of January to 31st of December 2019. So you can see a difference of 450,000, meaning there was some cash and bank balances that was added to the payments. So if you look at the revenue, it's less than the expenditure. And if I refer you to page 3, you will see bank and cash, there's some balances in bank. And there's cash balance also in hand.
So this cash balance is coming from where? Where are you getting it?
Yeah, as you alluded earlier, 2018, there was no balancing figure. So we only took the balances.
From where? 2018?
Yes.
So here 2018 is showing.
It's now coming.
Auditor?
I think at some point I'm even getting lost. But what I can tell you is the 2018 figures were vetted. There was no financial statement, no this. But before we started the 2019 audit, we made sure that the closing balance for the bank statement and the cash books were confirmed. And then before, starting the review of the 2019 financial statement. The 2018 figure doesn't come as a comparison. Let's say revenue 2018 this, because there was no credible. So we only rely on the closing ones, the closing bank balance at the end of the 2018, the closing bank and the closing cash book. That's what we rely on to come as the brought forward figures for the 2019. That's what happened. But there will be nothing like revenue or transport for 2018 was like this for 20, because we are not able to absolutely rely on those figures line by line because there are no records. So we only rely on the closing for the 2018 bank and the cash to start the 2019 as the baseline.
So just to further clarify that, the analysis on this piece correctly reflects the state of affairs as of 2019. So Basse do not have surplus. Instead, you had a deficit. So you spent more than you earned. So this reflects more truly what obtained at the time. So just to clarify that, I think Susu probably didn't get that.
Okay, on the balance sheet, that is note 4.2, page 9, outline the cash balance of $25,517.58 bottles, and the debtors of $3,389,794.80, of which 80% is rate areas. So would you be able to provide the breakdown of the areas of $3,022,492.23 for rates, as well as the $138,500 for Lansing's areas? Just the breakdown.
The debtors amounting to 3,389,794. Yes, it's on note 9, note 20. Yes, I refer you to page 22, where you have Annex 1. Page 22. Where you have the Lansings, amounting to 138,500. But the information for the rates, that one is not captured in the report here.
So why?
I think that's an oversight.
Yeah, because I'm saying for him to show us these areas that is mentioned here. Now the difference, the 3 million, that's what he said is an oversight. Because he said it did not reflect.
Yeah, the license is already attached, but the rest is not attached. The 138 is already attached on the report.
Yeah, now this figure to say it's an oversight because it's too huge. The amount is big. How can that become an oversight? $3,022,492.23.
Yes, that of the license is already attached, but the rest is not attached on the report. Yes.
It's an oversight. I tell you, okay, two is who? Is it Biame?
So I've just flipped through the financial statement myself and the notes. So the 3 million that is reported on the face of the financial statement, which did not have a corresponding breakdown as the other notes have, may probably be an oversight as he put it. But these are all records that we have vetted during the course of the audit. Yeah, and if it's excluded in the notes, that's probably an oversight. But it's the financial statement that we provide opinion on, which implies that any figure that reflects there has actually been audited and confirmed by us. Yeah.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is, doesn't mean that the 3 million also was an oversight not recorded, but each and every, because notes is to help the users to have a better understanding of the figures. So that's what he mean by then that no particular note might be an oversight also. Just for clarity, it doesn't mean that the 3 million that has been an oversight or not been,
Is it activity report 2019? We have already finished that one. Yeah. Let's move to the activity report.
This one,
Yeah. This one, activity report. Huh?
No, what I'm saying, are we now done with the financial statement? Okay.
Yes.
You can use it.
Thank you very much. There is a question in analysis regarding the organogram putting in place, or yes, putting in place as approved organogram for Basse Area Council. It's on page 4. Mm-hmm. He stepped out and he asked me to.
Governance.
Okay. Yes, where we have governance is, there is a general council headed by the chairman, overseeing all activities of the council. The chief executive officer, who is the CEO, reports to the council, and there are different units under this responsibility. And a pictorial organizational chart depicting the reporting relationships from the general counsel to the CEO right down to support units would be useful to facilitate visualization of the various units. Structures and relationships in the discharge of various responsibilities at the council. FPAC should emphasize the urgency to put in place an approved organogram for the Basse Area Council going forward. Thank you.
The nature of structuring the organogram, and which is not actually in line, whether council has the council has acted on that in order to put the organogram in a manner that is in line. Yes, who
Yeah, thank you so much. I think during the compliance, GPPA compliance review, I had mentioned about the council has an updated organogram. Yes, the council has an updated organogram Unfortunately, I'm not with my laptop here, or else I will able to project it. It's part of our new SDP. I don't know what exactly is zero, because there is some differences. There was some slight changes connecting to the previous, let me use that one, the previous organogram, because in that we have the procurement office under the CEO, the finance director, which is now moved to the CEO. But the general counsel is the highest decision-making body, which is headed by the chairperson, which you have under. And the CEO, according to the law, by his function and duties, report to the chairpersons on his performance and the work base. But of course, he has also a right to report to the council, which we bring the CEO under the chairperson. And then there is different directorates, like the planning, service, the finance. They are all under, we have an inspectorial unit now. Communication, which is, they were more of a PRO. Those are on the admin. The current ones we have in Basse Area Council. For now, the council also is working how to rebrand his municipal police or the council police, because the security also is key. The director said in earlier that we are thinking of collecting revenues at the later part in the day, but due to security factor, we need to make sure that our revenue collectors also are protected. But it's a broad thing. I cannot just mention it. But if the FPAC is interested, we can share with you and you look at it. If we are in line, good. But if we are not in line, you can send us your directive. We work on that. I think that will not be a big challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You can equally share what you said, as you said. Thank you. To FPAC.
Thank you very much, Chair. So could the chairperson tell us what's the link between since the General Council is the supreme authority of the Council, and what's the link between the General Council and the administration, Council administration? What's the link?
Mainly by law, General Council focus more on the governance aspect, formulation of policies, resolution, directives, in short, in precise, more formulation of bylaws and policies. But once these are formulated, they are being implemented by the administrator. Usually, our chain of communication is through the CEO, which is the head of the administration responsible for day-to-day running of the affairs. Whatever policies we have agreed or programs, directive is given to him through his department and look at the relevant department now for implementation, if I may understand your question.
How often is the day-to-day operations of the administration communicated to the General Council?
It's not permanent method or time. Normally, by law, we have our General Council meeting monthly. But notwithstanding, due to emergencies and certain times, if issues reach out to me like at the chairperson, I feel that the General Council need to sit and discuss over it with some emergency meetings. If no need for General Council meeting, it can be taken to committee level. That various committee is contacted by the CEO for them to summon and have their meeting on the matter. At times, certain information also not required to meet, but we can say through our official communicate line, because we have officials' email addresses We can share this through email. We can share it through WhatsApp for the members to know which needs certain urgent. But monthly, that's mandatory. All our monthly council meetings are conducted.
Since you are the link between the General Council and the administration, how often do you have senior staff meetings so that you can know the operations of the administration?
Thank you. Since I took over office in June, unless when I travel, even I'm outside of the country, my vice step in and have it. We have weekly senior briefing. We have weekly senior management briefing where all the department heads will come. CEO will be there, myself will be there. They will report of their activities they have implemented in the last week and what they intend to implement in the upcoming week. That is weekly. But of course, if certain issues also emerge within the office, which we feel that we need to sit over it as a team and discuss to make a quick decision, at times this can be happen even daily or anytime when the issue proposed. We just sit and then, if the need, once we conclude the meeting, if there is any need to notify the General Council, we share with it. And in case if we identify any urgent matter which need committee attention, I will raise the matter with the committee for them to engage the CEO and sit over it and then give us advice. But senior management briefing is weekly.
Which means that you are duly informed about the council's operation.
Yes.
Then we are convinced that those promises you have given about that compliance report with GPPA will be resolved. Okay? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. With regards to, I have a supplementary question with regards to having regular meetings on monthly basis or sometimes on emergencies. Because we do have seen some institutions or auditors querying or having challenges with taking minutes of the regular meetings or sometimes even the emergency meetings that you conduct. Do you regularly take minutes of those meetings that you're having? Thank you.
Yeah, all minutes are properly kept. And in fact, we are not even accepting a verbal report from a department head. Must be a written one and signed, submitted to the clerk or the record keeper of those minutes. That is weekly. Yeah, those are in place. Even our committee level right now, there's a policy which we passed. Without minutes of the committee sitting, no payment. Because there is an audit queries about it that committees are sitting and they are paid allowances. At the end of the day, there is no record of the minutes. So those ones now went gradually.
And Chair, can I be excused for general committee meeting?
Whether the CEO or the chairman, my concern is pertaining to development projects in terms of procurement and approval. How do you do the selection of those projects and how are they implemented? The payment procedures, how are they effected? Let me say one first. How do you identify the projects?
Yeah, good afternoon, Chairman. We had a policy of when we, in our budget, when we are preparing our budget, we send to all head of departments and councillors. So they will send in their proposed development interested development areas. And when we had the general council meeting, those projects will be identified and put in as planned for the 2024 or that previous year's budget. So when we are doing the selection, it will be a matter of voting. Like when we had the general council, we will had where we select projects. There are sometimes. Yes, so you know, each councillors or will write its own interested development for the year. Then we will when the general council will pass, when we had the meeting, the general council we will select the projects based on the availability of the revenue. The payment procedures, like when we issued a contract. First, for example, when we issue a contract to drill a borehole, we had payment. We had the policy of the payment. First, we say 40% paid, and you have to pay the 10% to GRA before the second payment is done. And when we pay the first 40%, before we made any payments again, the development officer will have to give us recommendation to say that yes, they have passed the stage and is due for payment. And at the end of the contract, we retain 5% for certain number of months to see if like the projects for sustainability purposes.
Yeah, and just to add something, in other words, there was a budget circular sent in August, September last year. And then this budget circular was shared with the ward councillors to go back to their ward and do consultation. But we all know that the ward committee also is composed from representative from the Blade Development Committee. The consultation start at the Blade level, where the community will gather and come up with their intended or proposed projects. So among these, there will be a prioritization because there is a whole work not to be done. But now the councillor will guide them with, together with the MDFT members to do 1, 2, 3, which are the most urgent one they need as a community. Each community is going to take those 3 priorities to a ward consultation. In the ward consultation now, they will now agree as a ward, because if community A is crying for water, how many communities are interested in water? And how many are interested into road rehabilitation or construction guard intervention field? From there, the ward committee is going to submit 3 key priorities as far as his or her ward is concerned through the Director of Planning and Programs. Director of Planning and Program, together with the Finance Committee, will do the costings of such projects and send it to the finance team for them to adopt it or to be part of the draft budget. Once the draft budget is ready, now is sent back to council to look at it for review and then possibly adaptation. So these are the side I want to intervene to make more clarity in terms of the budget process.
This comparison that I was saying, I will refer to in the last page pertaining to market collections and LUMO collections. It is of interest to know that the LUMO collections, you operate about 6 or so LUMOs in the region, and collections are done in each of these LUMOs daily, except for Friday, where there is no LUMO. Approximately 396,407 annually collected for LUMOs. If you average that, the daily collection would be around 1,000 or so for the LUMO collections. compare these to market collections, annually for the market is 1,674,640. When you average the daily collection for the market is about 4,662. You can see the vast difference. Collection at the Lumos and that of the markets. This one is about 1,000 plus, and this one is about 4,000 plus. What could be the reason for this low collection at the Lumo markets?
Thank you, Chairperson. One of the reasons that advanced the low collection is that we have our lean period and our peak period. Normally, council, our peak period is from January to June. So June, July, August is always a lean period for us. So basically, if you calculate it percentage-wise daily collection, sometimes you may get it wrong. But our best collection time is from January to May. And you look at the Lumos, the best time to collect in the Lumos is during the seasons. But for the market that is daily, market is daily operating, and that is in Basse. So basically, this is one of the reasons that advanced the low collection in the Lumos.
Don't you think there is serious revenue leakage as far as Lumo collection is concerned, considering the fact how busy the Lumo may be? $1,000 to be collected. Don't you think there is serious leakage somewhere?
Yes, I may not say there is no leakages, but we also have some challenges in respect to compliance of people coming from the surrounding, like Senegal, to pay tax. And then Basse, we have a constraint of collectors and security to support collectors in the collection of market dues or Lumos. We have that challenge because sometimes we have to engage the security forces around that end to support the collectors to collect the revenue. So that is one of the challenges that we are also facing. And I will not disregard to say there is no leakages, but every day we are also working very hard to ensure that leakages are not happening at the market.
Chairman, being a new care, this is an area you're supposed to look into. Not only Lumos, even the Basse Central Market, how busy the market would be. And you are saying at the end of the day, only $4,000 is collected at Basse Central Market. I have the feeling and believe that there is serious leakage as far as collection is concerned.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, thank you. That's why I'm even making side consultation. I'm not sure one should sit here and say something which you cannot attest it. It doesn't, as we are here as in a formality base, I would say that. But in our time, I'm not aware that per day a Lumo revenue collector submit only 1,000 or 1,003. But since I see the figure, the first thing I just go in, I use some mathematics, divided into 12, and then by even 21 days, that will be around 1,3 something. So maybe I don't know in 2019 what was happening. That's why I don't want to go more into dwell in that. But currently, that is not the situation, because council also had a lot of reforms. Revenue collectors are ought to use digital machines. All revenues are collected through digital. It is easy. Even myself and CEO through the office will able to know that how much a collector, how many tickets a collector issue a day. But of course, they will not stand away or run away from those leakages, because those was happening, and then still some are still happening. But as a new leadership and a new management, we are working gradually to address some of those things and how best those leakages can be blocked.
Now we noted the challenges that are highlighted.
Yeah, okay, if I can comment.
Your social contributions as well. Yes, Sani?
I'm just worried about the safekeeping of these monies collected at the Lumos, because whether you bank them daily, the very day it is collected, or you keep them, because I remember one time we engaged a council here that also keep, because they say sometimes they collect like 1,000, 2,000, so they cannot pay fares to go to the bank, so they have to keep either 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they go and save the money.
Thank you for that question, Honorable. I think the policy we have now is daily banking. Daily banking, yes.
Sure. Since the query or what this here is about infrastructural development, do you have a development committee at your council? And who is the head of that development committee?
Yeah, we do have a development subcommittee. It's headed by the vice chairperson of the council.
How is the council development plan formulated? Because I have heard that this from the CEO that councillors will bring in their proposals. You know, every council should have a 3 years development plan. And what constitutes that 3 years development plan of the council?
You know, the post response we were talking about is at the initial stage, our response was regarding the budget building process, how development budgets has been developed or formulated. But now going forward, therefore, our SDP, for our council, before coming to Basse Area Council 2022, the SDP was outdated. But now councils are not only limiting themselves to 3-year strategic development plan, but we are going 4-year or 5-year development plan. Currently, Basse Area Council, we already launched our new SDP. And in the formulation process, consultations start from communal level. Community come with their ideas. How did they want the Basse Area Council to look alike in a future? So the visioning was not done by the experts in the office or maybe in the political head to come that this is what I want to achieve, I need to implement that. Even though before going to politics, I have an agenda, but we go back to our people and consult them. In that consultation for the SDP, we did not limit ourselves to the community like in the budget building process. In the SDP level, we reach out to government institutions also who are operating within URR, and then civil society organizations, young people, and then equally even the private sector, the financial institutions and other private sectors which are operating with the URR, they are all consulted. So it's a very holistic approach. Everyone was inclusive as far as the SDP development or building process is concerned, and currently is launched in January.
What I'm trying, where I'm driving at is not, where is this SDP anchored? Is it anchored on the Finance and Audit Manual or in the Local Government Act? Because both the Local Government Act and the Finance and Audit Manual states that there must be council's development plan, a 3-year development plan. And this 3-year development plan, as you've rightly said, should come from the VDCs and the Ward Development Committee. And it must go through the council's development committee as well. So that's where I'm driving at. Whether you have a development committee at the council, and how is the council 3-year development plan formulated?
Yeah, we have a development subcommittee, as I said. And then they were part and parcel in the formulation process. There is stages. But the other one, I think you already answered that one, because you mentioned about the Local Government Act and the Finance and Audit Act, all stated about each council should have a kind of a development plan. Yeah, that one, you already take care of that. well, we don't do anything outside of the law, but we drive the mandate from the law through the local development, council development committee, in consultation or partnership with young volunteers also who has the visions to support. So it's a kind of a group exercise, and there was even ward consultation. Yeah, before developing this thing, there was a word consultations about the SDP. They tell us that what they think about it. Even though the experts set up a type of questionnaire to guide the process, but it was purely from the ward level to council development before it go for, and there was a regional validation too.
What percent of the council's general revenue goes to development?
You say you're talking about percent? Okay. This year, we work very hard to make sure that the 60% go back to development, because by law, we are mandated the 60% should plow back to communities, our people. So that one, this year, 2024 budget is already been taken care of. So that one, this year, we have gradually from that 60%. We are yet to be administered for bilateral, but at the council level, before approving, councillors emphasize that from the budget committee, finance committee, that the 60% is mandatory to go back to our people, and it's already been taken care of.
Yes. The development committee is responsible, is established, and it's functional. But due to the poor filing system, minutes cannot be traced for inspection, and is chaired by the vice chairman of the council. Furthermore, finance and contract committee are headed by different positions. Yes, there is no internal auditor during the time of audit exercise, but now it is available. This is 2019 report, management response, and yes, they are separated. Yes. Yes. And the action taken here is with the new management is no minutes, no payment. Yes. Yes, the internal auditor, still now we had challenges with the internal auditor even in 2024. The internal auditor of the council resigned shortly when we resume office, and since then we are yet to recruit another one. We have made consultations through because there was a time that myself and chairman called the director of national audit office, and he gave us some recommendations that we have to advertise immediately. I wish the director of governance was here, so that he will because they are the one responsible for the recruitment of staff above grade 6. When we spoke to the National Audit Office director, and it's because we were trying to say if we can outsource, if he can headhunt to get an internal auditor immediately, because it was a need for the council. But he recommended that we advertise, and he will give us a technical advice, or he will advise in terms of it's yet to be done.
The recruitment is yet to be done?
Yes.
The process is on?
Yes.
Did you advertise?
No, we are yet to advertise. Yes.
You've not advertised?
Mandatory body to do that appointment.
It is Service Commission.
Yeah, it's the local
but you have
government
put to the Local Government Service Commission for them to appoint the internal auditor. And they are yet to do so. When did you inform them to do that?
We made consultation to the last time to the inspectorate unit of the local government office, and we were told that an advertisement was made, and some applied, but I think those applicants to the positions were not qualified. That is why they did not
do the appointment.
They did not do the appointment.
Okay. Can we proceed? The next issue that is.
Yes. I just want to make this clarification. The organogram, the auditors here, when they say the internal audit report to the chairman, the auditors don't have problem with that. That was, but there was no audit committee. It's like we are not querying that the internal auditor can report to the chairman, because for me, I think that's in fact the best practice than to the CEO. But the council should have a committee where the internal auditor will be, who will be responsible for the audit matters also, to help the chairman to make sure that audit queries are implemented before the external auditors come. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your take on this? The request made by the council for the appointment of internal audit?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just as the acting CEO said, he's right. They've made their request through the Local Government Service Commission. The positions were advertised, but unfortunately, they didn't meet the set criteria. As we gather here, I've just received an application from a graduate of UTG expressing interest in that position. I said I was going to bring it along and show it to the auditors to help verify whether the person will be the right one or not. Because sometimes we give them the option. When I say we, the local government service commission, they give the councils the option to head hunt. Where advertisements.
You have to lay down criteria of appointment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that should be subject to the approval of the auditors.
No, it's not to. It's not for them to approve, but again, for their maybe opinion or advice.
They are not part of your panel.
We are not part.
No, no,
they are not part of your panel.
They are not, and that is why during interviews, the commission will always.
What you can do, just simply follow your laid down guidelines for appointment. If you do that, I think the regulations are there very clearly.
Of course.
If you follow that, based on that, you will know whether they meet the qualification or otherwise.
Then that one is out.
It's out.
It's out. He didn't meet the criteria.
Okay.
Because the experience alone is not there.
Yeah. That's a serious problem.
So sometimes it's difficult.
The next issue, that's what have been highlighted, that's regarding the internal audit, and the process is on. So we move to the next one, the review of internal control. The accounting policies and notes. The findings of the auditors indicated that the draft financial statement presented did not indicate the accounting policies adopted for the preparation of the statements, and that the financial manual did not adequately address the subject as it only referred to central government choice of accounting. With that, the auditor recommended that the auditor recommended that the management adopt and apply appropriate and responsive accounting framework and policies for the preparation of its financial statement, that this will enable users to gain meaningful information about the council in order to take appropriate decisions. Management response?
Yeah, the accounting policy guideline councils is the financial and accounting manual for 2009 for local government service commission, and where preparation of all financial reports are speculated. However, now that we're using IFMIS, and it's more easier to prepare financial statement because we're using the IFMIS in preparations, meaning there is an accounting policy and that guide us on the preparations. And the action taking with immediate effect, the finance director shall work hard to prepare notes to the financial statements.
The auditor confirmed that the query has been resolved.
Yes.
So we proceed to the next issue, no balance sheet. And the findings, the auditor indicated the council prepared and submitted the income and expenditure statement, but there was no balance sheet submitted for the period under review, and no reason was given for the non-submission. With that, the recommendation advanced was that the management prepare balances for its financial position, and that the financial manual for the local government authorities may be referred to for guidance. Management?
Yeah, no argument of the preparation of the balance sheet and the revenues and expenditure statement, as the council being responsible for taxpayers' money that needs to be accounted to the public. And it stated ready for your confirmation.
Has that been confirmed by the auditors?
Yes, later they prepared the balance sheet. I think this where I was at, because Basse 2019, to be honest, there are a lot of issues, but in terms of the documentation, but I think the current management by then, they made a lot of effort, though the audit was a bit delayed, but they made a lot of effort to make sure that they provide all the relevant documents. That's why they were able to have this clean opinion.
Okay, let's proceed to the next issue. No control accounts, that debtors and creditors. The findings, council did not prepare and maintain control accounts for its transactions with debtors and creditors for the period under review. No reason was advanced for non-preparation. And with that, management is ordered to prepare individual accounts for debtors and creditors in the subsidiary ledgers to monitor and reflect the actual balance owed to creditors and the balance owed by the debtors at any given period. The financial manual may be referred to for guidance. Management?
Yeah, the importance of keeping such records is a key as highlighted above. And the Director of Finance shall work to ensure the accounts are prepared.
Auditor? No further comment?
Further comment. But what happened was by then nothing was prepared. But after they made effort to provide some detail, though it was insufficient. That's why those notes for the rest areas also some of them were missing. But they were able to provide the figures and then put some breakdowns here.
And those details were sufficient?
Yeah, they were not materially misstated. That's why we were able to give them a clean opinion here.
Okay, let's proceed. No monthly abstract books. The finding a monthly abstract book as required by the financial manual for the analysis of all revenue and expenditure transactions from the cash book has not been prepared by the council. The step was found to be skipped and transactions from the cash book were directly transferred to the ledger without being analyzed. And recommendation, auditor recommended that the preparation of all required abstract books as required by the financial manual. The procedures for the preparation may be referred to in the manual. The response?
It was well noted. Be rest assured that the preparations as directed in the finance manual, the financial manual of the local government. The management is of its current concern, but with coming to the new financial directors, we are optimistic that such are expected.
What is the current situation as of now?
Yeah, monthly abstractions are done.
Are done?
Yes.
Subject to the confirmation of the auditors in the subsequent reports.
Yes.
Review of draft financial statements, next issue. And on that, the findings to be that the books of account and trace the transaction from the cash book to the summary and analysis books to test for the accuracy and completeness of the transactions are noted the following. For the samples of account codes tested, the cash book balances did not agree with the ledger balances. And that in the second one, the inconsistency was also replicated for the reconciliation between the ledger and then the summary. And the third one, the trial balances included the balances for cash and bank, but which the basis for the calculation have not been provided. The further income and expenditure statement includes a significant balance for cash and bank balances. And the fifth 2019 balance for account code for 22nd January 2021 was inflated. We close to amount of 200,000, representing a surcharge for wrong determination of a former director of finance. And since the notes did not provide explanation for several accounts, especially the ones with big differences. And the seventh, a bank loan amounting to $800,000, and the 1/6 loan repayment of $332,223 were accounted for as an income in the books. Take 10 now. The auditor recommended that the management review the draft statements in light of the anomalies and highlighted above with a view to adjust to adjusting accordingly all the affected balance. The adjusted account should be presented to us for review, and the management responded.
Yeah, we agreed errors were made as alluded to the above statements due to misclassifications of coding. This shall be regularized in subsequent audits during 2021. The wrong postings of transactions now is reviewed and corrected, ready for inspection.
And the auditor still found that the adjusted balances should be adjusted accordingly.
Yeah.
And have you complied?
Yeah, this one, the auditors further comment, we reviewed the revised financial statement and found the affected balance to be adjusted accordingly. The balances were adjusted accordingly, but it's just the coding.
Okay.
That is where you have, where those dividend issues, those coding, but they promised that they will work on those coding, but the balances were adjusted accordingly.
Balances were adjusted. Let's go to page 11, expenditure, budget and revenue forecast. There was no evidence on file that the council used any scientific basis for the preparation of its budget. There is no indication in the budget on how the budget and forecast figures are arrived at. There was also no evidence that the steps and requirements as per the financial manual were followed. And this include: 1, the dispatching budget circulars to wards and council subcommittees to include proposals, and 2, a financial committee discussion and approval of the draft budget. The auditor recommended that the management follow the guidelines and requirements of the financial accounting manual for the local government authorities in preparation of the budget, and that all processes and procedures should be documented to facilitate the review and provide audit trail. Response?
Yeah, henceforth the management will respectively follow the finance and accounting manual for the local government authorities as highlighted. Management shall endeavor to follow the procedures in preparation of the budget by engaging all stakeholders in preparing a budget call circular.
And what prevails currently?
Yes, this is what is prevailing, the call for a budget circular.
You do?
Yeah.
Audit?
2020-2021 report is not yet finalized, so I think it will be confirmed.
It will be confirmed in the subsequent reports. The key vacancies in management. The findings, the review revealed that the foreign departments, as required by the law, have not been set up and staffed with the relevant personnel. 1, the services administration. And the auditor recommended that council, through the relevant authorities, ensure that the vacant positions are filled as soon as possible. Management?
Yeah, we agreed that service unit had not been set up as department. However, its activities are loaded under planning and the development units. The vacancy of administration is not set up by management, but management is working on it with the ministry to remedy the situation. The management will formally write to the ministry for appointment of administration officer. Management will endeavor to ensure that the units are set up and that the vacancies are filled.
Did you do that?
Yes, some
You
vacancies.
wrote to the ministry?
Yes, some vacancies are filled, but we still have some vacancies to be, like in the case of the internal auditor, the administrative.
Which ones are yet to be filled? Internal auditor?
Yes,
And
And if an administration officer is not being filled yet?
The admin officer.
The admin officer, yes.
What could be the problem to that? Because this is something that happens in all the councils, especially with procurement officers. Is it that the Local Government Service Commission is not functioning, or what? Can the Director of Governance explain?
Thank you, Honorable. The Commission has advertised all the positions submitted to it by the various councils. They've divided them into first and second batch. They've already interviewed and made appointments from the first batch, and there's another batch waiting for interviews. This is the situation as we speak.
Then how soon will this be resolved, given the importance of procurement officers, and all these other positions are equally important? So how soon will this be remedied?
I wouldn't remember whether procurement is among them, but I know and I could remember the commission were prioritizing. Yes, they were prioritizing. Instead of interviewing all, they are interviewing based on the urgent positions required by councils. For example, internal audit, procurement, etc., etc. And that is why most positions have been filled. Typical examples are Director of Audit, BCC, is appointed. Director of Audit, KMC, is appointed. And Procurement Officer, Kerewan, is appointed, and BCC as well. In some cases, unfortunately, the applicants or some applicants failed interviews, while others weren't shortlisted at all. This was the situation. Director of Administration was interviewed and appointed to Basse Area Council. When he picked his offer letter, he was given a date to report to his new posting, that is Basse Area Council. But few days later, he came back to say he is no longer going to honor the appointment and that he has declined the offer. What must be the factor or factors responsible? Perhaps he will be in a better position to speak. But I want to believe that, one, he made comparisons between his present earnings as opposed to what he will earn when he goes to Basse. So those are some of the factors that led him to decline the offer, which means the position has to be re-advertised. And we know advertisement is not cheap nowadays. So the more we advertise, the more councils have to pay. And equally, we need to check whether those budget lines are dead or alive. If the budget lines for advertisement are alive, then the advertisements will be placed. But if the budget lines are dead, if we advertise, of course, whatever newspapers we may use will be following on their payments. And will be, in turn, will be following on the council pay. So to avoid that, so the commission will always want to check whether the budget lines to enable the payment to be effected once the advertisements are done are alive or not. And that is why the commission has took another option, that is they gave the council the option of headhunt. When they headhunt and they see that the person has met the set criteria, then they forward such person's name and documentation to the commission for possible recruitment. So that's the other line of option that the commission has taken. But honestly, it's not easy to get people. And one of the stumbling blocks has always been the experience. Some positions will say 5 years experience. Some will say 3 years working experience. That will have, if I have maybe 9 credits in my WAS, come out as the best in UTG, the fact that the experience is not there, that has already kicked me aside. So that is always a factor. That's the one that I've just spoken to you about, that I plan to bring and share with the auditors for their advice. He has good results, he's a UTG graduate, but the position is asking for minimum of 3 years working experience, which he doesn't have. So again, that one has put him off. So these are some of the factors that responsible in delay in making appointments for certain positions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed. The next issue has to do with incomplete asset register, which was also queried by the auditors, and the asset registered were listed, and there the auditor recommended that the management update the asset register with the missing details, and that the register must always be kept up to date to ensure completeness. Management response?
It was very difficult to have the complete asset register for the council simply because some of the assets were with the council for so many years, like 30 years or more. It's difficult to ascertain the dates of acquisition and cost. The management will work hard to improve the assets register to be completed and to be detailed.
You do that?
Yes, we have worked on a new assets register and it's up to date.
To be confirmed by auditors. Auditor?
That will be confirmed in the subsequent audit. But if you look at this one, I think they specifically mentioned some of the motorbike that were having duplicate number plate, and some of the motorbikes that were physically seen but not recorded. But no action has been taken on that particular, because I think here the query was very specific. It mentioned some motorbikes that were there, not recorded, and some are having similar number plates also, but no action has been taken on that.
No action taking place on those specific ones. Why, management?
We'll agree. Still now, asset register is a challenge in the council. We are finding it difficult. That's why last council meeting in January, it was tabled at the council, and then resolution was passed to the CEO and the team with a specific timeline that all assets need to be registered and submit for inspection. But we are still facing challenge more over the motorbikes issue of Basse Area Council, because these are not some of the assets. You'll be seeing it in the record, but physically to verify, you don't even know who is still managing or in charge of that motorbike. But solely, council have already passed a resolution for the management to work on it. I know before next council meeting, the timeline was within that they will able to update the council of the status of the asset review, but it's really a challenge.
The next one is about non-preparation of key documents. The auditor noted that the following documents have not been prepared by the council during the period under review. Inquiries with the Director of Finance revealed no apparent reason for the non-preparation. That's the Business Continuity and Disaster Recovery Plan, IT Policy Manual, Training Policy, procurement plans for the period under review, database of procurement made for the period under review, and the risk assessment policy. On that, the auditor recommended that the management urgently make arrangements to ensure the establishment and continuous maintenance of the records to ensure efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery. Management,
We totally agree to the above queries. Management will endeavor to put all the above documents and record in place as required by the Local Government Act 2004.
did you endeavor to do so?
Yes, we have.
Auditor to confirm in subsequent report?
Yeah, what else they are bringing? Find them.
No operational plan. The findings reveal that during the audit, auditor noted that the council has a strategic plan in place, but there is no operational plan for the period under review to implement the strategic plan. And on that recommended that the management is urged to ensure that an operational plan is prepared. This will help to ensure that the council achieves its development objectives and the management response.
Yeah, we agreed there was no operational plan during the period under review. Management will endeavor to prepare operational plan for council.
Did you do so?
Yes. Operational plan.
Did you confirm?
Yes.
Auditor?
Yeah, it can be confirmed, but the care, you have the operational plan for Mr. Fendi? I know because most of them, the strategic plan, most of the institutions will have a strategic plan.
It's different from the...
Okay, but the annual one, how to operationalize that, how to implement that strategic plan in a year is what is always lacking. But that one is there.
The operational plan is derived from the strategic plan.
Okay. I believe they confirm in this subsequent.
Yeah, currently, like we said, we developed the SDP for 2024 to 2028. Thematic working group has already been established to look at the SDP and then guide us like annually what we implement at the end of the 6 months or annually we're able to monitor how far have we gone as far as our SDP is concerned. The document is yet to be compiled, but there is a process in terms of having the operation plan in place.
Yes, can we proceed? Misclassification of revenue codes. The findings noted the council allocated unused codes different from those allocated by the policy document, that is the financial manual. In some cases, the new codes used for new components correspond to different components as allocated in the financial manual. And on that, recommended that the management is urged to revert to the correct codes for components as allocated in the financial manual, and any change to the codes must be duly authorized. Any comment on that?
Yes, these were errors that happened during the postings. As we are operating on manual system, it is really difficult, but with the coming of the IFMIS system, such errors will not happen, meaning it was regularized.
Also to be confirmed in the subsequent reports.
Yeah.
The use of GTRs for income tax and personal loan deductions, the finding revealed that the reconciliation of the Treasurer GTR against the cash book. The auditor noted that the several GTRs were used in respect of income tax deduction as well as receipts of other loan repayments as listed below. And the management, and then the auditor recommended that the use of the GTRs to administer receipt of revenue is ceased immediately, and that the GTRs should only be used when revenue is earned. Management.
Yeah, the amount stated as uncollected amount of 138,500, out of which some of the collection all made, ready for inspection. And now that we are no more using GTR receipts for income tax deduction.
The final one has to do with the performance review and the auditor noted concern on the condition of the Sarabojo Lumo.
On the GTR, I said, since income tax is a withholding tax that you have to pay, have you done that?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Previously, we are using DTR to collect income tax from council staffs and post it on our revenue. But now that is not happening anymore. We are receiving from staff and paying directly to income tax.
Recording those, the income tax in the GTR, what are the implications?
Yeah, it will increase the revenue because income tax is just we are just collecting on behalf of income tax. It's collected from staffs and it should be paid back to income tax. So it is not a revenue to council. Yes, it's just a withholding from council staffs to GRA. Yes.
You are now recording it as income.
Yeah, that's not correct, but that is no more happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when the auditors flagged that, what did you do with the
we
monies
reversed.
that you have already collected?
We reversed. We reversed and then adjusted the cash book.
The last part is pertaining to the performance review and the auditors noted concern.
Yes, I have a comment in regards to the income tax issue. Currently, income tax are automatically deducted from staff salaries, which the council take responsibility of and then pay to GRA at the end of that payment month. That's how we are deducting it now. But since we came to office in June, but up to date, we are not owing any income tax as we speak currently.
Are you?
Because this would be a suppression of government revenue by recording them in the GTR book. How can you convince us that those monies are paid to the GRA where they are supposed to be paid?
Yeah, I think in regards to the year 2019, I cannot lament much on that. But for the year 2024, and then from June 2023 to January 2024, all those dues have been paid to GRA accordingly.
Yeah, I think in this case, what happened was income tax. When somebody paid income tax, every staff income tax is deducted. If you are paying, that income tax is deducted, and the loans that they give to their staff, when they paid back, for them, instead of recording it properly, they are using the GTR. And then the GTR is only used like if you go to the market, somebody collected or the rates is collected, that's the only time you should issue. So here the risk is with the using of the GTR now, because it will be difficult for you to account for that GTR that has been issued to you. So you will see that there will be misclassification of revenue, and then when that continues, your financial statement will not be true and fair. So immediately, I think immediately they stop issuing that, and then all the income tax that we are recognizing. That's why if you look at the financial statement, you will not see income tax, because they have later reverted and made sure that they are paying to GRA, not to recognize as an income in their income statement.
That's well noted, but for Basse Area Council, we still have areas regarding the income tax. What the current director is saying, since we took over the office, we have no areas with GRA. But before coming to the office, they are still pending. Meaning staffs were deducted, but it was not paid to GRA. I don't know where that's what the reason they were using it as a revenue instead of to pay it as an expensive. But they were deducting staffs and it's not paid to GRA. So for now, from June to January, we don't owe GRA with any income tax. We are still struggling with them because every day they are coming to the office for their pending areas, which we are trying to establish and make sure that it's been paid gradually.
This thing we can take it up when passing a resolution.
Okay, this part is pertaining to the performance review. The auditor expressed concern on the nature and condition of the Lumos in terms of water supply and sanitation, which is regarded to be very poor. Sarengai Lumo, Sarebojo Lumo, Patoto Lumo, the water supply, sanitation, the toilet facility. Yes, what's your comment on that?
The Sarebojo management has endeavored to provide water facility and also assign a cleaner for the Lumo to keep the toilets clean. And also a dump site is now available for dumping to take place around in Sarebojo. And we also agreed there will be no duty station for collectors. The management will endeavor to provide one of the collectors for the duty station to be available. Management is working hard to provide uniform and identifications for collectors to make smooth operation during their collections.
To be confirmed in subsequent reports?
Yes.
Kabakamba or Kabakama food bridge in poor condition? Any comment?
Yeah, Kabakama bridge to report that even the bridge got broken sometime in the rainy season, and up till now it could not be fixed. Yeah.
It could not be fixed.
No.
Do you have plan to fix it? Chair?
Not in 2024 budget because mainly it's a capital project. And then by looking at the council revenue, we don't have that financial muscle to fix that. But equally, the council is looking for partners who can possibly come to our aid. The first work done in the put culvert or the bridge, it was a maintenance. But currently the entire bridge collapsed. Due to safety reason, we visited our regional authorities and we give a directive to our service unit to dismantle the entire culvert for safety purpose. But for record, that also not the only access road to Kabakama. It was the first footbridge people were using, but there is a main access. One can get access to Kabakama from that side. But that's why mainly we condemn it to look for a sustainable project or program which can reconstruct the culvert instead of going for maintenance, and then the value for money will not be considered, because over 200,000 according to records have been spent for maintenance, and then just within 3-4 years, and then the entire building collapsed. So we are looking at in that angle. It's a capital project.
Yes.
So what makes it your responsibility to fix that bridge? And did you consulted maybe the National Roads Authority or Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, since you don't have the capacity, the financial muscle to fix that bridge? Why would it be your responsibility now?
As I stated, we are looking for partners, and central government is not an exception. We are in touch and say, but one will note also that the council we inherited, it was a very bad condition, and then things need to prioritize. But of course, at the regional level, all the authorities are involved. We all visited together from our office level, governors level, NDMA, National Road Authority, National Environment Agency, the securities. We all visited the place. And that's the time we give a directive that as a council that let the bridge to be temporarily closed, and we look for partners from the central government and so on. But it's part of the plan also to take advantage opportunity of the current road construction within URR, with Basse main town is part of it, and see how best central government can control it, possibly for fixing that footbridge. But for now, currently, we don't have any potential partner for fixing the bridge, but we'll continue searching.
You know, in the Local Government Act, it states that there shall be a local roads authority. Do you have that local roads authority that should liaise with the highway authority, which is the National Roads Authority?
Not yet. We don't have any local government road authority. It's hard to understand maybe from outside, but if you're inside, you will realize that.
What was the last part?
Sorry, I was there before you.
Sorry. The last part that has to do with Kobakunda Market. Kobakunda Market. Sorry, yeah. Honorable.
Yes, Chair, this is a very important bridge, despite the fact that it is not on the main highway. But since you said at regional level, you've contacted all the stakeholders, including NRA. So I would just want to know what was the response from NRA, even despite the fact that you joined them, or they joined you in visiting the area. Well, what was the final response from them anyway? Thank you.
I said, like, we engage NRA to go for site visit and then for possibly advise whether it can be repaired. There was a regional consultation for the visit purpose. But formally, we haven't write to National Road Authority for any intervention in that site. But lobbying, maybe the writing may be at a final stage, but we are still lobbying. Like that's why I said we may take opportunity of the current road construction within Basse, which the central government is currently working on. Possibly we capitalize on that and then engage them for them to come to our aid and reconstruct the bridge. Yeah, I quite agree you were there before me. I'm not exactly remember, but I'm talking about the general view about that.
Okay, thank you very much. I have been advocating for this since I was at council. This is a dictate of the Local Government Act. The National Roads Authority cannot just come in your community and just identify a road. That may lead to a misplaced priority. You understand? That is why the Act is telling you that there shall be a local roads authority who should work in tandem with National Roads Authority. So that is why it is very important. And the development committee as well, these are very important committees. And most of the councils, they don't have these committees. You understand? So, and there is no comprehensive mapping to map out the highways and the secondary routes. You understand? This needs to be done. That is why you are struggling to fix that bridge, taking it as your responsibility, and equally is the government's responsibility. So that is why there is a need to link with the government so that they can do something for that community than isolating the community. Thank you very much.
The next one, that is to Kobakunda market. Auditor noted, even though the market is fairly new, but the floor has some defects. That's the Kobakunda market. What's your comment on that? CEO?
Yeah, Kobakunda market still remain a challenge because we still are not having people occupying the market. It's not being used. We have, I think the finance director has made some advertisement. We have made some advertisement to let those markets out. But since then, I think we only had very few applicants who had applied.
So those defects are still there?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yes?
Yes, CEO, you said the market has not been in use.
No.
And it has not been in use, right?
Yeah, it has.
And it has not been in use, and the condition or the situation is still like that. How about if the place is being used?
No, what I mean is, I think when the place has been used, now that we even organizing the chairman, last time we organizing a trade fair, and I'm sure maybe from that it will attract the people to come to the market. I think the market is isolated, and that's the reason why people don't want to come in. When we first came in, we went there and we look at of course there are those potholes, and once we occupied, we have tenants, we will address the matter, and I think we will work on.
So if I may understand, are you telling us that because the place is not being used, this is why it's defected, or what? Is that correct?
Well, I think you have, the last time when we went there, we found out animals. I think it is because of the animals. I wouldn't know what causes those defected holes. But because sometimes, most of the time you visit that place, you'll find animals lying down or whatever. So, but now that we are organizing a trade fair, and that is where we want to host the trade fair, and I'm sure at the end of the trade fair, people will be interested to occupy the place. I'm sure.
It seems like you are insisting to make that place a market. Huh? You are insisting to make it a market.
Yes, it's already a market. It's
already a market, but it's not in use.
Yes.
People don't want to take it.
Exactly.
So that is giving another signal.
Yeah.
This is telling us that people are not consulted to see what is feasible. Now, can't you transform it to a community center, which may even serve the people better?
Sorry, Cam. I think that, no.
Can we come to?
Can we proceed?
No, the situation of the market.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to clarify something about
Yes,
the situation of the market. The market is a constructed market, but it's not being used. Due to the fact that it is not being used, we cannot ascertain whether it's the quality of the work or someone tampered in the absence, because there is no security. But the council currently already have a solution for it. Trade fair is one of it. But secondly, we are working with a framework agreement, which SOS YTEP visited us last time, to be a kind of a production center for their youth entrepreneurs. that progress is going. So once that is being finalized, because seems people did not want to occupy that place. Market is for population where people can go and do their daily need. But now, in absence of that, the council is interested to partner with the SOS Whitehap to allocate it them for them to use it as a production center. Young people who are trained by them, they can use that place for production center until when people want to occupy the market for market use.
For that information, honorable members, that has brought us to the end of the review on the financial statements as well as the activity reports. I'm not sure whether you have any other issue. No, I mean for the AOB is a different thing. We are considering the report before AOB. Any other issue? In the absence of no other issue on the Basse Area Council, yeah. No, before we will do our consideration, then they can have their final comment. No, their final comment will not be, it's not part of the consideration. Now we have done our part on the report. We'll consider then before we let them go, we'll hear from them their final comment. Honorable members, since as highlighted in the report, the auditors reported a true and fair view of the 2019 and believe that the audit evidence obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for their opinion. In other words, the financial statement of Basse Area Council were prepared in all material aspects in accordance with the Local Government Act 2002, Financial and Accounting Manual for Local Government Authorities 2009, and General Accepted Accounting Principle. And there were no disclaimer. On the basis of that, can I put that the committee consider and adopt the Basse Area Council activity report and financial statement for the year 2019? Those in favor, please say aye.
Very much, Honorable Chair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to move the motion for the committee to consider and adopt the financial statements presented by Basse Area Council
and the activity report.
And the activity report.
For 2019.
For 2019, yes.
Any seconder? It has been moved and seconded that the activity report and financial statements for Basse Area Council for 2019 rather, be considered and adopted. Those in favor, please say aye. And those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. On that note, the activity report and financial statements for Basse Area Council for 2019 are hereby considered and adopted. Now, after the adoption, the next stage will be the committee will be preparing the report, and the report will be forwarded to the August Assembly at the plenary for final consideration and adoption, where issues emanated will form part of the Assembly's recommendations and then resolutions for onward implementation. We look forward to the Council making significant improvement as alluded in the interface, and which will be subject to confirmation in the subsequent reports of the national audit. However, I noted the significant improvement as far as Basse Area Council is concerned regarding the manner in which issues were handled and later adjustments were made on those issues which were confirmed by the national audit, and some remain to be confirmed in the subsequent reports. We are still reminded to adjust in the area of the compliance with the GBA at 60%. That is still on a low side. Hopefully in 2020, 2019, and so on, there will be significant improvement as far as procurement compliance is also concerned. On that note, we thank you, but before we let you go, we want to give the opportunity to the chairman to say a word or two.
Honorable Chairperson, National Assembly members present, subject matter specialists, the media, Director of Governance, my colleagues from Basse Area Council. It's indeed a honor to answer to this mandatory call. But once call have been made, or we are summoned by this August committee, whatever responsibility we have, we will drop it and then answer to the call. I have just few recommendations moving forward. We all have a country, we have a nation to build. And in doing that, all public servants or duty bearers, we need to account ourselves. We need to always remind ourselves or remember our mothers and our sisters who queue for 8 to 9 hours on that hot sun to cast their vote for us to represent them. We also need to remember the underage girls and boys who always run after our rallies. At the end of the day, they are in fact involved in accident, or some may even lost their life. Maybe I'm new into this committee. As I said, the first recommendation I have is the timing of the committee. Always, we need to all respect time. We are invited or we are summoned to be here at 10 o'clock. But unfortunate for us, we always start our sitting at 11 o'clock. To me, I feel that it's not fair invitation for me. I'm a regional head, I'm a regional authority. I have other engagements. So if it is 11 o'clock, let it be stated 11 o'clock. Failure to attend, let the law take its course. This is the only way forward we can move as a nation regarding the time. And as also mentioned yesterday, this is more of formality for us. Asking a question for 5 years ago to someone who took office less than 1 year, to me, it has, we will not do the progress as it is. In fact, it's encouraging public servants or civil servants to do whatever they want in public office. That's why we are witnessing in this country, people are enriching themselves with public funds. At the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. If audit reports are going to be tabled almost after 5 years, maybe some of them who are in the office today are no longer with us, how can we account them for that actions? For national audit, we all, GPPA, the council, we all rely on this August assembly. because they are the law-making body. Let's put laws in place which will be mandatory, which should not be a kind of a choice, but should be mandatory. Failure to do, let there be a disciplinary action taken. That's the only way forward, but one will acknowledge the last resolutions, at least those ones have impacted, because we are seeing some little recovery from those ones. Issues like that, National Assembly should not only recommend, but to me, I feel that is one of the key arm of the government as far as check and balance is concerned. Let them give directive. If the need arises, we go forward for prosecution, because this country, we must face the reality. If we not take the bull by its horns, it will only be a kind of a maslaha syndrome. We'll be talking about it. We disturb our technocrat, our subject specialists. Every year they'll be giving us the same recommendation and it will not be implemented. And finally, in terms of